Ladies and gentlemen, now if you've been paying attention to this channel, you may have noticed that I have not been very active for the last few, however long it's been, and I took a break, a forced break that is, because life happens, and I think it's also important that you keep check on yourself. Anyways, my cat died, and I was depressed for a minute, and that's why I was not uploading. And to commemorate her life, or I should say lives, I decided to make a video on 9 odd things that happen to you that you don't really see coming, or maybe see coming, that happen to you once you decide to get to a gym or decide to get into fitness. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, the first thing that you'll notice the moment that you decide to get all fitness oriented is that it's pretty obvious. You get fitter, and let it be known, do not be lied to, being fit feels amazing. I mean, clothes feel different. Let's not, look, I understand that there's a thing such as fat shaming, but there's also fitness shaming, but I'm not going to shame anyone for that matter. Here's the thing, it feels amazing to be fit. You feel better, your mood is amazing. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it's a consistent feeling like constantly, but you do know that you are fit, and it just generally feels good, right? There's no other way to put that. And, life is just generally better like that. Now, the second thing that you'll notice that's, slightly more odd, well, it's more like number one, is that your confidence becomes out of this world. I mean, it's really, really something else. Now, as a side note, I'm really not confident right now. I'm actually going through a really weird process right now, in the sense that the self-loathing is ripe today. So I'm really psyching myself up. And I'm sure when I watch this video, I'm pretty much going to remember all the things that I, say and feel like, yeah, go back to the gym. Anyways, that's number two. You get extremely confident in yourself, and that's not mostly because of the whole. Obviously, yeah, your body does look better, but there's other things, like generally your mood improves. Obviously, there's ups and downs, but you find that you have more uppies than you have downers. Anyways, third one. The third thing that you'll notice, it's kind of odd, but you find that you disconnect from a lot of normal things. This is how I mean it. For example, for me, I find that a lot of the times I'm going to be dealing with mere mortals, people that generally have a life outside the gym and fitness. I don't. And they're going to mention something like, let's meet at 1824. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Or they'll tell me something, or they'll make like a meme or a joke about something like gin. I do not understand the difference between gin, whiskey, and all those things. I really do not know. Actually, here's an even a stranger thing. I do not understand, and this is a confession, I don't understand the difference between coffees. For example, when I walk into Java and I have to buy coffee, just give me coffee. I don't know what's the difference between a cappuccino and a macchiato and a kirato and all those things. Now that I mention it, maybe it's because I'm from a village and I'm slightly backward and I'm a very, very uncultured. You see that self-loathing I was talking about? Maybe that's what I'm hearing right now. Anyways, I was saying I don't understand the difference between coffees, as in coffee is just coffee to me. But then there are people that get so invested in other things, and I understandably, I'm not knocking on them for it, and you find that they are really, really good at them. Like something, like wines, like wine tasting. I don't understand the difference between wines. There's white wine, there's black wine, no? There's white wine, there's dry wine. Isn't it both wet though? I digress. Moving along swiftly, the fourth thing that you will notice, my mood just improved greatly after that. Anyways, the fourth thing that you'll notice, right, after you get yourself into the fitness world, is that you will enjoy being naked a lot more. And that's not it. You will probably be naked a lot more often than normal people, I assume. I have to say I assume, because how else would I know that unless I have a... This is not a moment for a peeping Tom joke, but anyways, you will notice that, you do actually feel better naked and all of that. And I know, like, most people don't want to admit this, but it does feel good. Like, when you can look, it's vain, but mark you, it's vain, but you do actually feel, I can take it off. And, I mean, it's not that's how you came into the world, ain't it? Get naked, not in or in public, who knows, do what you want. Now, the fifth odd thing that you'll notice that will happen to you once you decide to get yourself into a fitness regimen, or this becomes part of your life, is that you start thinking different. Here's an example. Whenever you go look at a weight, like 100 kilos, right? 100 kilos of something different. For a person that's mostly a weightlifter, it processes as 5 plates, right? Like you start counting things in plates, you start thinking more in reps and sets. Like I'll find that for myself, like if I go up a road several times, sometimes I'll find that, see, we did that for 2 sets, and I'm like, what? And it's just a weird thing that just starts to happen, and then you start getting super self-conscious, super conscious of weight and stuff like that. Like in your head you process things as, how heavy is it? It's 80 kilos, eh? I can bench 80 kilos. I'm sure I can deadlift that gunia. It's just a weird thing that happens, but I think it's kind of fun, and it's just from a force of habit. Now, the 6th odd thing that I think started happening is that you start flexing a lot more often. Now, I understand. Everyone flexes like that, right? Like, this is where it ends. Now, when you start getting fitter, you start noticing there's a lot more ways for you to flex, in the sense that you can flex your back, you can flex your stomach, you can flex your legs, you can flex your butt. Yeah. The one thing that you will find is that the stronger your butt gets, you become an Olympic butt clenching champion. Let me tell you, I don't know how this could ever be useful, unless you go to prison, but you do start flexing a lot more, and it's just it's an odd thing for people that don't necessarily work out, that you'd be walking around and you feel like, it's just a weird thing, but it's a fun thing. Trust me, it's enjoyable. Once you can feel your muscles and everything, it feels pretty good. Now, the 7th and for me most odd thing that happens to you once you get into a lifting culture, basically when you join like a gym, that becomes your the center of your life, is that you start getting comfortable with looking at other people's physique. Basically analyzing. The word I should use is analyzing. Looking sounds a bit weird. Anyways, because if you look at it from a normal person's perspective, by normal I just mean an ordinary person, it's not very normal that you'd be looking like at a bodybuilder and being like, look at his glute striations, look at your thighs, your quads, whatever. It's kind of creepy, actually. It's really creepy. And for me, I'm mostly into the bodybuilding, strength training part of it. So for me, it's normal to look at a guy wearing a thong. It's not even called a thong. Posing trunks. But it's basically a thong. Think about it. Basically, you'll look at them wearing like posing trunks, and it's not even in a sexual way. You just appreciate the art of posing, but it's kind of weird. And I don't think unless you entered like the world of fitness, you'd notice it. I mean, just imagine if there was no fitness involved to it, but we just walked around in like posing trunks, like, what's up? I mean, it's something. Now, the 8th thing. Now, the 8th, it's not really odd. It's just a thing. The 8th. Now, the 8th thing, it's really not odd, but it's just something I noticed. Everyone will notice, is that your appetite develops a lot, and I mean a heck of a lot. For example, for the last 2 years, I've been eating like a madman. And it's because obviously I've been trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and just it doesn't work like that though. But you develop a heck of an appetite, because part of it is because you know that you know how to burn it out. Another reason could be just because you're expending more energy, and it seems pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised at how high your appetite goes, especially if you get used to things like deadlifting and squatting and stuff like that. You'll realize that, your energy requirements skyrocket. Now, that's not to say that's an excuse to overeat. You do need to develop discipline, which is another thing that comes as a bonus from working out. Now, I meant to finish this video off at 9 things in commemoration of my cat Zawi, but we have to be a bit extra. The 10th, and it's not even that odd thing that happens to you once you get your life around a fitness routine, is that you start becoming overly critical about food. First of all, you develop a ridiculous relationship with chicken. I don't understand where it comes from, but it's obviously because of the need of protein, and it's an easy access to, food. Sorry, vegetarians, I'm sorry, man. But you develop a crazy relationship with chicken. I single-handedly, I'm pretty sure I'm responsible for a small chicken genocide somewhere. And you also become extremely anal about food. Like, what am I eating? Is it whatever? Is it does it have too many calories? Is it carbs? Is it protein? What time of day is it? It's really not necessary, but I mean, it's just something you develop, and it also helps with your discipline. So anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and feel free to tell me in your comment section what the odd things that have happened to you. And without further ado, I'm gonna end this video here, but I'm thinking at the end of this I'm gonna put a montage or like a few cat photos so that one day when I look at this video, I'm going to basically remember. If you're wondering how she died, she fell off the roof. And if you go back to point number 9, you feel like a superhero, and I'm pretty sure that's what she would have needed, but such is life, and that did not happen. So see ya. For me, it's normal to look at a guy wearing a thong. It's not even called a thong. Posing trunks. But it's basically a thong. Think about it. So even as you're watching this video, I really did not want to shoot it, but here we are. So I'm going to edit that part out. So, whatever. 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 That's cringy. That's cringy. Now that might sound normal if you've ever... Now that might sound normal if you've ever been to a gym. But let's start again. You know how you'll go to like a butchery, or you'll look at cut that out. Looking around and you feel like I just lost motivation, to be honest. So anyways, my cat died, and it was a pretty iffy time. I had some issues with the cops, but I decided that life giving me what? Anyways, so I decided that since life decided to give me lemons in by way of death, I decided that I'm gonna hide my pain with humor. This is not going well. Start this video again. In 3, 2. So now, oh my god, now I need to take a piss. 1 minute.